the gift of silence. We live in a very tumultuous world, a world that is connected to everything under the sun. We've got our Bluetooths in our ears, our earbuds. Our world is full of confusion. We're being thrown all kinds of stuff, political turmoil, social unrest, everything that's causing us to be in a state of anxiety. And because we're in a state of anxiety, we feel insecure. And when we feel insecure, we let fear take over our lives. But we don't have to live this way. We don't have to live in fear and anxiety. What we have to do is learn to accept the gift of silence. Silence. How many of us have felt silence lately in our life? A peace and a tranquility that we need to have to feel secure. Well, silence is a gift. It's a gift we have to work for. It's a gift we have to make sure that we put in our life if we are going to have a life of peace. So, how do we get this silence? In a world of turmoil and confusion, it's very difficult because we've lost our art of focusing. And until we learn again how to focus on the important things in our life, then we're always going to be in a state of anxiety and fear. Fear of what? Fear of the unknown. None of us know what our future is going to hold. None of us know what tomorrow is going to bring. We only have the moment of today, and that's all we need to live in, is the moment of today, placed in the perspective of tomorrow in reference to what we've had in our past. So let us talk about this gift of silence. When God called us into being, he called us into being for one reason and one reason only, and that was to love him back with the love that he gives to us. He only has one desire for us, to be in love with him. And love is the essence of all existence. Without love, there is nothing. And if we're going to get in touch with this God who loves us dearly, then we have to know how to be silent. Because that's where God speaks to us. He says to be still, and then you will know that I am your God, and that I love you, and that I hold you in the palm of my hands, and that I will never forget you. Be not afraid. Come, follow me. And so we have to learn how to focus. We have to learn to make sure that we take time out of our busy, distracted, tumultuous day to spend a few moments in silence. And at first, this is not going to be easy because we have been so used to having so much distraction in our life. Those earbuds are constantly telling us something, keeping us distracted from the moments of our most precious time, silence. And when we get alone, sit someplace by yourself, go by a stream or a river, or go out to the forest, or just sit in your yard and listen to the birds, look at the clouds, and try to focus on being undistracted. This will take time because we're so used to being distracted, we don't know how to be silent. But if we let ourselves take 2 or 3 minutes every day to just try to get rid of all the distractions in our life, then we begin to let grow in our life this gift of silence. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time because it's going to be a little bit, one step at a time, every day, maybe 2 minutes, the next day 3 minutes, until eventually we let silence take over in our life. And then we will be able to be open to listen to what God has to say to us. Oh, there's the story in the Old Testament of Elijah. He wanted to listen to what God had to say to him because his life was full of fear and turmoil. And so he goes up to a mountain and he finds a cave, and he goes into the cave and he becomes still. And as he tries to focus, he hears wind all around him. But God was not in the wind. And then a little bit later, there was an earthquake and the earth shook. But God was not in the earthquake. And then there was a fire in the sky. But God was not in the fire. And then there was a gentle breeze. And that's when Elijah knew that God was speaking to him. And God told him to fear not. And that's when Elijah knew that he had received the gift of silence. And we have earthquakes and fires and turmoil in all of our life today, but we need to hear that gentle breeze. And the only way we're going to hear that gentle breeze is if we open our souls to listen to it. And if we're going to listen to this God who loves us so deeply, we have to be quiet, because then and only then will we be able to hear what he has to say to us. And what he's saying to us at every moment of our life is, I love you. You are my child. I have you in my palm of my hands, and I have your back. All I want from you is to love me back. And you can't do that unless we have a relationship. And we can't have a relationship unless we know who we are to each other. And we only know who we are to each other if we learn to communicate. I am always here speaking to you in silence, but you're not always there because you're not listening. I give you this gift of silence so that we can become one with one another. And when you do, I will give you the greatest gift that you will ever have. I will give you the greatest thing that you could ever possess. I am giving you my love. And all I ask you in return is to relate to me back in love. Just give me some of your time. And this will take time, because silence is something that must grow. And once you get the gift of silence, you will see that you will be at peace, and you will be away from all the turmoil and fear and anxiety that's in your life. And you want to be in this silence. And when you're in this silence, you will hear God speak to you. So, get the gift of silence. Be willing to take some time to put God back into your life. And when you do, your life will become entirely different. Your life will become a life of goodness and peace and love, unattainable by any human means. So be still and listen. God is speaking to you.